Ollie, now that this is like a really casual chat on the podcast, let's just bloody introduce probably our favourite person of this year, don't you think?
Tom, how good. I mean, you saw this show twice. I wish I saw it twice. I want to see the original Reuben Kaye. I want to see Reuben Kaye, the butcher's back, because, man, I freaking loved your show, Reuben. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I even get a round of applause.
Yeah, just a spattering for you.
And you know what? Because I know it's my first time on the show, I got you some flowers, so I hope you don't mind.
Are they for us?
Yeah, don't be too impressed. I found them taped to a lamppost.
How very South Melbourne. They were just hanging out in the street. You got them for us. I'm going to take that as a beautiful gift.
I know how to work this business.
Well,
I'm Reuben Kaye.
I don't know whether Ollie got that joke, Reuben.
No, he didn't.
He didn't, did he?
Most things go over their head, but that's what we're here for.
Oh, you found them? Is that?
Yeah, it's care in the community, educating the heterosexual people. Sorry, men who believe that they are heterosexual.
Well, indeed. He said he found them taped to a lamppost, Ollie.
Yeah. So you found them. Yeah.
It's like a car crash victim, mate.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Watching your mouth open in shock just then was rewarding on so many levels for me. It was a teachable moment, and yet I'm erect.
So
What
funny.
a pleasure.
Taking the flanny off.
So we saw you at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. You'd also been to Adelaide. The show Butcher's back. It's comedy. It's cabaret. It's comedy done over a 6-piece band. Which I said to you when I saw the show. I said, "This is cheating because you're doing comedy, but you've got an incredible setup
And a lighting designer from Berlin.
Oh,
Look, let's be honest. The entire festival and any festival is beneath me.
yeah.
You know, the fact that I have to perform for audiences is beneath me. The fact that I'm here with you instead of being worked over like Satan's finger puppet by the All Blacks is beneath me.
Yeah, you are. Well, the Butcher's back, and you're wearing a T-shirt that says "Stay queer as fuck."
Do you know I got told in the Virgin Lounge to reverse this in case I offended someone?
Oh, my God.
Reverse? Oh,
Really? Invert it.
Invert it, yeah.
No.
Oh, my God.
Did you?
Really?
Well, I didn't say anything. I didn't talk with my mouth full. The what was I doing in the Virgin Lounge? Why wasn't I there in the lounge for people whose mattresses have gutters?
Your show is so quick and so wild. Well, I guess I want to ask the fact that the show is called Reuben Kaye. You wear makeup. You look beautiful. You got costumes on, but your name is Reuben Kaye, and you're not a character.
No.
So how much of
this
that...
is me 24/7. It is a nightmare to be around me and in me. You'll find out later.
Well, Tom spent a bit of time with you at the hangout.
Don't you remember?
How much time did we spend
I
together?
said to you,
The drugs were very good.
you said, yeah, Reuben is the same off stage as on stage, and I thought, surely not.
Oh, well, I spent 1 minute with you probably at a function.
That's all I need.
And that's all I
1 minute and get the Kleenex. It was... Ketamine's a hell of a drug.
So much beeping required for radio already. But you're not playing. It's not a character. I mean, how much? I mean,
no,
it's
because
heightened.
it's me.
Yeah.
I was always like this. If you look at my sonogram, I'm using my own umbilical cord as a feather boa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thinking just, less oxygen means a lower birth weight, and I want to be thin for my delivery, bitch. Like I've always been like this.
Yeah.
And it's like any other comedian, like anyone out there, it's slightly elevated.
Yeah.
It's me 3 drinks in on stage.
Yeah.
But I'm what you'd call a classic 2-speed.
Yeah.
It's either this or unconscious.
Yeah.
And neither have stopped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to give the audience an idea of your show, you open up with your own jazzed up version of Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil.
Just as every cop's a criminal and all the sinners saints, just call me Lucifer, 'cause I'm in need of some restraint. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, mixes it in live.
Do you know what's funny is that's very good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
The drum sections on the original are absolutely Latin based. You can hear that. There's a Latin
It's
fuseness.
super salsery or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so the clues were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I just took that and ran with it because it's such I always love inverting classically heterosexual anthems. The last show had Sharp Dressed Man and Land Down Under. And the lyrics to those songs are actually incredibly
Land
queer.
Down Under
Oh,
is
Land Down Under
full
is
on.
so homoerotic.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people, when you see that, I'll just start to have a stroke online. The whole series is just, this whole festival has been like a long form aneurysm for me. So if I get like a blood nose, it's that.
Okay.
But if I get a runny nose, I'm just full. The people would talk
Come
to
on,
me
our
and go,
producer's just covering her face with her hand. It's
oh,
funny.
no, don't do that. The people come up to me after seeing me perform Land Down Under and go, oh my God, I can't believe how much you changed the lyrics. I'm like, I didn't change a word.
Wow.
All these shows, and especially Sympathy for the Devil, just changing back to that, the lyrics are so apt for now. For now. Because it is such a political song. It's such an anti-war. It references so many. It's even just tiny things like making sure that Pilate washed his hands. You know, in a time of where we're realizing that religion might be not the best idea, and in a pandemic, suddenly washing hands becomes so much more relevant.
It
Because,
does,
and also if you combine it with Mark Rebelet's Flamingo, Janelle Monáe's Pink, and Leonard Cohen's Everybody Knows, while putting hand sanitizer in your cocktail and sculling it. It's a magic show, listeners.
Well, you have been to VCA, clearly.
Yeah, because I don't know any of those music references.
By the way, check out Mark Rebelet. You will become obsessed. He's the guy, the flamingo song I do at the start. That I'm hopping all around. I'm a pink bird. Nightmarishly good.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that one. I enjoyed that. What I had heard of, well, I don't know if I had it before, but familiar-ish, and I've been obsessed since, is Bobby Gentry's Fancy.
Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
Feel free to give us some of those. What is it, a rolling R? What do you do when how do you do that sort of...
On my growl.
Trill. Growl.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
trauma. It's childhood trauma. Just coming out of me like an exorcism. Like Linda Blair, but for homophobia.
I don't know that reference.
Linda Blair was the child in The Exorcist. And you call yourself...
I'm
gay.
the worst gay.
Bad guy.
I'm a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
The
He's
bad
a
guy.
He's Billie
You just say
Eilish.
that to get spanked.
I'm a bad guy.
Duh.
And you can't steal that. We're
trademarked?
Yeah.
Copyright?
Yeah. Bad guy.
So, I mean, where did it start for you? Because you've got this great musical backing, you're a great singer, and you're doing
you
comedy.
came out of nowhere for us this year. We feel like we know the comedy scene a bit, but I feel like this year it was just like, oh my God, who is this guy? What's your background?
But going back even further than that, just like comedy or music and cabaret, like you've obviously come to a beautiful mix there, but which one was first for you?
Well, you two haven't been paying enough attention. I've been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
That was meant to be a funny joke, and it just sounded so egotistical. Do not edit that to make me sound like a cunt. All right?
But that's part of the character. You're
Right,
egotistical. So,
You're making a note now.
Yeah, just making a note. Need to beep that.
Thank you.
but I'm sure you have because you're fucking talented. But I want to know how it progressed.
Well, right. So because I was a weirdo, I was basically told, oh, just do musical theatre because we don't know what to do with you. And you seem like you have, I don't know, ADHD and connective disorders. And I was like, that sounds fun. But every time there's a queerdo who goes into music theatre, they're looking at these amazing big roles, but they're not the roles you're going to play in musical theatre. You're not going to go out and go, oh, well, you'll be the first man to ever be Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd or some bullshit.
Yeah.
What you're taught is you're put in a system, like musical theatre is actually really regimented and it's very repetitive and it's really hierarchical. And in fact, it's pretty institutionalized. And there are certain artists that can function in that and make it fresh and keep it fresh. I do not have the discipline or the want to be told what to do, what to wear, how to say it, and make it the same every night. And that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. And so I was in London. I was doing Evita on the West End and international tour. And then I was part of a 10 tenors show. Gross. I would rather like imagine Il Divo, but with more nortriptyline and Lexapro to help with the anxiety and depression. It was shocking. I would rather shit my hands and clap than do it again. But money. Yesterday my life was filled with rain. And so then I found the cabaret scene in London, and the cabaret scene in London was queer and it was exciting and the host could do whatever they wanted as long as it was good.
Yeah.
It was freedom. And I was like,
Nice.
great, that's what I want. I want money
Yeah.
to say what I want.
Yeah.
But in an exaggerated aesthetic. I want to be able to dress up. I don't just want to be another comedian on a mic in a t-shirt spitting jokes. I want to do something a bit different. Not good, not bad, just different.
Well, what you did on stage was epic, and I sat there with my mouth open the whole time, just
Yeah,
like this
same.
is just so, from the music to the comedy to you cutting the music and doing a punchline. It's just so dynamic. It's so many layers.
I always loved those old school 1950s showmen. I love artists
felt
like
like.
Danny Kaye. I loved. It's so fun. People go, "Oh, this is something so fresh. This is something so new." I'm
Yeah.
like, actually, it is one of the oldest
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Danny LaRue, even like Barry Humphries, Julian Clare, they're all doing similar things. Joan Rivers used a band in hers
Yes.
Right,
and
okay.
kept things going
Yeah.
with music.
Yeah.
Didn't sing, of course, with that voice. It sounded like someone was starting a Harley. But, you know.
I think you've really spoken to my straight mate Ollie over here, because I think, Ollie, you've been searching for something like this, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like what you saw in Reuben Kaye was like, I want to do that.
I'd love to do
I want
that.
to be that.
I am a gateway drug. I will say this, and it's fine because curious men are the base of my food pyramid.
Sarah, if you're listening, we'll get married in a few months. Don't worry about that. Marriage is still on. But yeah, I mean, you did. I mean, I've never seen a show like that, and I love all the elements of it. I can't sing, so I really would never be able to do what
no,
you do.
but
But
you've
mate, you know what? I was told by my primary school choir teacher, Mrs. Lang, that I would never be a singer, that my voice was out of tune, and I was tone deaf.
Right.
And now I'm a singer, but that's just because and so many singing teachers rejected me and said, no, we can't teach this. And I found one who's really holistic and one of those really lovely people who goes, oh, anyone can sing and art belongs to everyone. They're the kind of people I would shoot now. But
now that you're at the top.
now that I'm at the top, I'm pulling that ladder up behind me. I'm going to pretty Patel this. And then, but she taught me, and we worked our asses off.
How old were you when you started doing lessons?
Oh, I would have been maybe 12, 11.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm 30, so is it too
and,
late?
and Ollie, you've had singing lessons before,
that
and they
ship
didn't.
has sailed.
They definitely didn't work.
That's not true.
Yeah, we did them in.
It's a radio bit. It wasn't. I didn't legitimately.
And did they ever discover the teacher's body, or?
It was a bit like that. He did one lesson and nothing improved. But it wasn't.
But I
really
can
one
always
lesson,
do. I mean, I can do drag, Ruben. That's what I can
Everyone
do.
can do
I can
drag.
mime.
Have you not seen 2021?
What do you
It's
think?
great.
Are you
Everyone's welcome.
excited? Are you excited for Rue Paul Down Under? Are you a fan of the franchise, or I have a feeling that you're not a fan of it?
I'm a fan of anything that provides a platform for creatives to be creative. I am not a fan of a platform that constricts that or tries to turn them into a formula, because what I think happens on any reality TV show is you're not seeing the performer create and you're not seeing the performer do what they do. You're seeing the performer react to challenges and things like that.
And producers.
and
and
confines.
producers in confines. And that's true of any reality show. Any reality show.
Yeah. So it has a
That's-
place, doesn't it?
But I think it certainly has a
Yeah.
place. I think
Yeah.
look at it. Look at the fan base.
Oh,
The
it's
fan
huge.
base has a place.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't. You know.
So are you going to watch it?
Oh yeah.
For all the juicy goss.
Absolutely. All the juicy goss.
So, can I ask, Ruben, how do you go about with your show? You've got a band of 6 people. Is that right? 5? 4?
No, 4. But
4.
you know what? Numeracy has never been a skill that's needed. Not in radio.
Hey, but you're in the band,
No,
so it's 5.
I'm in the. Oh, do you know what? Smooth.
Yeah. And
I just
you
been
in the
hit by
band?
a smooth operator. If you ask, if you ask me, yes. If you ask my musical director, Shannon, no, I am not.
No, you're not in the band.
No,
Yeah.
I am. She's like, Reuben, you are not part of this band. You are not a musician. You are up there to tell the dick jokes and make the funny, and I will make the musical decisions.
And then you've got a lady who comes out and does your costumes for you. I'm guessing you've got a makeup person behind the
A
scenes.
lady who comes out and does my costume.
Well,
Yeah.
doing your jacket
oh, she does my
change.
costume
manager.
changes, my stage manager.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
stage-
Moose.
So you've got a bit of a team.
I got a team.
Ollie didn't study theatre studies at high school,
No.
can you see?
Yeah,
No.
sorry guys, I didn't do VCA. So can I stay in the chat? Is that okay?
You can also talk about the dramaturg, Ollie, if you'd like. He doesn't know what a dramaturg is.
He thinks it's a town in Sweden.
Yeah.
It's
Dramaturg.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Ollie's actually a jock. I don't know if you knew this, Reuben.
No, this is why my legs are crossed right now. So I'm having a fun time.
But how do you go about,
Getting a team together.
staffing a show, and knowing how making it viable. Going, I'm going to get a team of 8 people. How much money have I got to make? Do you know how much money have I got to make to pay these people?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like art is a real job. It's almost like as an artist, you've got to think about budgeting and finances and all the boring stuff that other people have to think about.
Well, we've done festivals, but we just rock up and we just do shitty sketches. So
No, I can tell. But then again, you're on the radio and I'm the schmuck guest. So
We're not from the radio from our sketches, I can tell you that. Oh, God, no.
It's a lot. It is a lot, and it's a big team that I surround myself with because I want to put on a show and I want to give the audience this massive experience. And with that comes a lot of organization. And I've got a fantastic team of amazing people that I built through a lot of years of hard slog and finding talented people who gel with you. It's the same way as you build any professional network or any friendship network. You got to find the right people
So
who
you've got
gel
a
with
long-term
you.
crew now. They've been with you for a while.
Oh, yeah, I know where the skeletons are buried.
Yeah.
That's not the right sentence.
But
I know where the bodies are buried. Skeletons are in the closet, which is, they're next to you. It's the...
so many closets.
so many closets. So little time.
So little time. So,
yeah.
so you grew up in suburbs in Melbourne,
Yeah.
and then
Multiple.
multiple suburbs in Melbourne, and then
Got around.
did you travel around? How did you get to London? And then how did you?
Oh, I got to London because I wasn't getting any work in Australia after music theatre college. What a shock. And
So you went to the VCA.
Yes, a lot of good that did. And
What came out of the came out of that school at 21?
I came out of high school at 18 and I went to Swinburne TAFE first.
Nice. What were you doing
Yes.
there?
Getting asked to leave. That's what I was.
Nice.
They were 6 months in. They were like, "Oh, I don't think this is really for
You got
you."
asked
What
to
were you studying?
leave.
I got asked to leave.
What was
TAFE.
the course?
Yeah, what was the course?
It was a diploma of arts in small theatre company management and operation. So that's where they taught you everything. Like they
Wow.
taught you lights,
Oh, cool.
lights, sets, taxes, finances, business management, front of house,
Great course.
dance, acting, singing, like everything. It was a real all round. It is a fantastic course. They even taught us circus.
Why did you get asked to
You
leave?
didn't get through that though, did you?
Oh, I was partying pretty heavily. I was like 19 and
You're at the Peel every weekend.
yeah, it was. And also it was right next door to the National Institute of Circus Arts.
Oh,
And I don't know if you know anything about me, but I fucked more circus artists than I fucked up the joke.
we'll edit it out. Go, do it now.
I don't know if you know anything about me, but I fucked more circus. Oh, fuck!
Now you don't get it edited out.
I know you do it again right now. Internalize homophobia. That's what this interview is.
It's way better if you can't do the joke. It's so much better. Oh, I love it.
But in your 70-minute comedy show, festival show, I don't reckon you slip up once. Like it's so tight. It's so.
Oh,
tight.
no, Eyelash came out
Ritalin
on the
helps
sun.
focusing.
Ritalin really focuses. A couple of Dexies as well.
Yeah.
To switch you on.
I knew I was in Melbourne when I came back to Melbourne because I was at a bar and I was alternating between Ritalin and ketamine and seeing which one would win. Was it
Podcast special.
was it like starting a fire or winning the Melbourne Cup? I don't know which one I was going to do.
Oh my God.
Can I ask, when did you come out?
Oh, I haven't. This is a real shock to my family. They haven't known.
They don't know.
I'm doing it here.
They have it on a t-shirt.
It's there. Stay queer is. I can't say that. I came out at 14. I was kind of one of those people who went,
Wow.
but I was like anyone queer. I was told I was gay. I was
Yeah.
called faggot
Yep.
before I was one, before I knew what one was, before I'd even like had a thought of myself as something that needed an identity. I was told. That's why coming out, I think, is actually really important because it's about not telling other people. It's about saying it about to yourself.
Yeah.
So I came out at 14.
That really resonated in my show.
big part
for
of your
sure.
show, yeah.
Coming out is a real. It's your own time. You have to do it in your own place. But as gay men, we do get told that before we're even comfortable with it.
You talk
So
about
it
it,
was
and
really-
you're telling your dad in the car, and in the show, you talk about how he doesn't even say anything. He just lets you get out of the car, and off he goes. And I could see the tear from the second row that I was in go down your face. How tiring is it when you have to go to those places every night in a festival?
88 shows.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot. But it's really energizing because it's a bit of aftercare when you go up. I always want to talk to the audience after.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
always
impressive.
want
That
to.
was very impressive.
I think it's like that's the part of it because some of the jokes have been really extreme. The show is really extreme in its peaks and troughs. And so if there's anyone, I want to be able to talk to audience members because a lot of audience members have questions. A lot of audience members have said, "Oh, I brought my 10-year-old." We had a 10-year-old in the audience the other day.
Whoa.
I snuck my 15-year-old in to see the show, or an 18 or 19-year-old who's seen me on TikTok has brought their family. And been like, "You've got to, Mum, Dad, you've got to see this show." And I've had parents message me after the show saying, "I've actually had to do a bit of a rethink on my attitudes." Or I've had kids or people say, "Oh, even a 30-year-old woman came up to me and was like, I came out to my parents after seeing the show."
Wow.
So for me, that really lifts
If you just bailed out of the show
Yeah.
at the end, it'd be a bit of a closed book quickly, wouldn't it?
I think so. And I wouldn't get like applause and laughs are fantastic, but that interpersonal connection is really what we do it for, what we do anything for.
Funnily enough, I saw a lot of the shows that were on the most outstanding list, and congratulations for getting a nomination for that.
Thank you.
Robbed, I reckon.
Could have won. Should have won.
But I do love Geraldine Hickey.
She's bloody amazing.
But one of the things is in a lot of those shows, like your show, and in her name has just slipped,
Michelle Brazier.
Michelle Brazier. She also had people after come up. She was out in the audience afterwards and had people come up to her afterwards as well. And Anna Piper Scott as well, who is in Best Newcomer list, also had a trigger warning in there going, "If you need to talk to me after the show, I'm really open." It's really that's a really interesting link in comedy these days, that we are bringing up so much more personal things that can trigger people. Do you think it is?
And opening up
more
the dialogue
so,
between
yeah.
audience and performer.
Are we more closer than ever before with our audiences, do you think, in comedy?
I think artists are realizing that if you're going to bring up intense stuff or things that might be intense for some people, maybe not for others, but for some people, then you kind of have a responsibility to be accountable for it and be there. If it's just a comedy show with a lot of laughs, maybe that's not necessary. But certainly with Michelle's show, which deals with a lot of heavy stuff really brilliantly,
Yeah.
and for me and for Anna Piper Scott, who's also bringing up pretty heavy stuff, they know what it's like. We know what it's like to have that happen, and we don't want to replicate it. So we want to look after the audience, you know?
I think it's really lovely.
I think it's a really great thing, a really exciting thing that's happening. That
It's
comedy
very
is
new. It feels new to me.
Well,
it doesn't feel like something you would have seen at a comedy festival in 2008.
No, absolutely
Do you know what I mean?
not. Even in comedy festival shows that would have been bringing up pretty intense stuff, they wouldn't have gone out with the audience and that.
Well, when you see a bloke at stand-up do a joke about putting his condoms through his potatoes in the self-service checkout, you don't need to go back afterwards and chat to him like, mate, I love that joke about the potatoes and the...
Have you never been that potato? That's why they call me. That's how they call me Kipfler. Edward
Stuff a couple
King
into a
Edward
condom.
Creams.
Do you think Hannah Gadsby led the way for that?
I think Hannah Gadsby's show was the first of that kind to get so much exposure. There have been other shows that have gone to those levels, but they've never been so public. And when you go on something like Netflix, where you're no longer going to an audience that is going to you, you're coming to them. So she's going into the living room and she got every late night show. How amazing that John and Jane Q Public, who would never go to
Oh my God.
an autistic lesbian stand-up show, would say, "Oh, well, it was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
It was on Letterman. I'll just give this a watch." And then have that blown at them. Incredible.
And
That's
then,
amazing.
and then it finishes and they go, "Oh, well, fuck that."
Yeah, but that's why I'm there, because vulnerable people, oh, boy, are they like catnip. Num, num, num.
Did you get many people going, that was shit. I hated that.
No, I got a lot of guys straight man's going, oh, yeah, it's like, not my kind of thing, but I respect it.
Yeah,
like,
great.
you put out a lot of energy. Oh, not bad for a poof.
Oh, dear.
I was like,
That's
Wow.
good. Yeah.
really?
Thank
Really?
you.
Thank you. Did you know Liberace was gay? How skilled. Alan Turing broke the Enigma machine. Not bad for a poof.
Not bad for a poof, though.
You'd be speaking German if it wasn't for Alan Turing. And how did we repay him? We had him chemically castrated and medicated for the rest of his life until he committed suicide.
Poor Eddie
Did he
Redmayne.
actually? Poor Eddie. Do you mean? Do
was
you
it, Benedict?
mean
Was it Benedict?
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Damn it. The other one. The other one.
You were thinking of
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking.
He's gay, isn't he?
Well, you know what?
I don't think so.
I
Isn't
reckon
he
he-
one of the biggest womanizers?
Yeah.
Wow, good on him.
God, this chat has really taken a turn.
Well, this has been an absolute treat. What else? What's written here that we should ask about?
oh, you know what I wanted to ask about? I wanted to ask.
TikTok you mentioned as well.
Yeah, we should. I actually do want to ask about that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
But before that, you wrote this show, The Butcher's Back, in lockdown.
Yes. I wrote it in, we put it together in the 2-week isolation. We were in Darwin before we got to Perth.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you made the decision to come back from London.
Yeah. I was recovering from vocal surgery when I came in. So I went in for a sinus op after what the doctors called years of abuse. And
London.
no, my nostrils. And it could double as Santa's Lapland. It's got the falling snow, questionable reindeer, and weeping child.
I'd imagine you on the gear. You would just be. You talk already like a lot.
What do you mean, imagine?
He says, as he does this.
As I just,
We can't put this on the radio. This has all been a waste of time.
just like every man I've ever met, and just like my father. That's exactly what he said to me when I came out.
It's all been a waste of time.
This has all been a waste of time.
So lockdown was good for you then.
Lockdown was great. No, I went in for a sinus op, and the breathing tube cut into my larynx, and my whole larynx ulcerated.
Jesus.
And as a direct result of all that, my vocal cord hemorrhaged. So one side of my larynx looked like JFK. And then the man, not the airport. And although there has been a lot of traffic through,
There it is.
much like my mental state, my larynx is also severely depressed. And
He's very handsome, though, JFK. So it's a compliment to yourself.
thank you. And I was told to stop speaking. So it was meant to be like, with a hemorrhage, you're like, oh, stop speaking for like a week and it heals. But for some reason, my vocal cord blood vessels just became unstable and it kept on going and on going. So 2 months later, I still hadn't spoken. I hadn't coughed, hadn't spoken, hadn't sneezed, hadn't done anything, and was just like going crazy.
Wow.
And then they
You
said,
didn't speak for 2 months.
no, wait for it. I then had an operation on my vocal cords where they fired a blue laser and like sizzled up and like cauterized all the things, but I could still smell and taste my vocal cords being fried. Like I can never look at bacon the same way. It's funny that as a Jew, the only thing that made me stop eating bacon was tasting my own vocal cords being singed, and not the Torah.
God.
And well, I'm a Jewish.
Jewish, yeah.
Because I was raised by Jews, but
Yeah.
I was reared by Catholics.
I've met Jews. You don't seem very Jewish.
I've met. That was a problem. I've met Jews. Wow, what a virtue signal. I've met Jews. And good night, ladies, and amen. I'll just be over here drinking hand sanitizer. If I had an agent, I'd be calling them and asking you, why did you book me on this chicken shit gig?
I'm just glad to match you with a joke that's as offensive as half of the shit you say.
Thank you. So I didn't speak for 3 months is the upshot of that. I didn't speak, use my voice, any of that shit. And as I started to get my voice back, I said to the surgeons, I was like, coronavirus had just started happening in China, or just started moving. And I said, I'm thinking of going back to Australia. And they went, get out of this country now. Like the surgeon at the hospital was like, get out of this country now. We are fucked if this thing gets here. So I booked a flight and booked a comedy festival for 2020.
Wow.
Landed, ready to start doing shows with a voice that was not healed, and landed on March 11th, 2020.
Mate, COVID might have saved your voice in the end, hey?
But obviously, God's on my side. Not on a lot of people's side, but my side. And then lockdown happened.
Wow.
And I had to spend the whole year actually vocally recovering and doing all the online content, which let me do. And suddenly now I am on TikTok. I'm one of the oldest people on TikTok at 36.
How does that work? The TikTok stuff. What do? You do jokes or songs or what?
Tell us about TikTok because we don't get it.
No. And to be quite honest, I don't get it. But what I'm excited about is one, which sounds like a good thing and a bad thing. Everyone has a voice. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But you're getting people who will give you hot takes, 15 seconds, 60-second hot takes. So you might flip through TikTok, like scrolling on Insta. And again, it's all algorithm-based and hashtag-based, et cetera, et cetera. And you might just flip on a university lecturer being like, hey, do you want a hot take here? If you don't understand cultural Marxism, here's that. Or if you don't understand this particular moment in history, here's a hot take of that. And you can get it. So you can learn and you can see lots of people. There's a really great Nicholas Vange, who's a Zimbabwean creator and activist who I've learned so much about, Zimbabwean history and politics.
From TikTok.
From TikTok. Who would know? And then you have people doing silly dances and challenges, which I think is like, it's cute, but bugger off. And you have lots of thirst traps.
But that's your career, though, technically.
How dare you? And I started to make, I did a series called Living with COVID-19 and Myself, which was it started because I was going through a breakup, my industry was gone, my voice was gone. And I talked to my doctor and I was like, I need Valium. And she said, no. She said, I'm going to put you on Lexapro. Which is a SSRI. It's an antidepressant and anti-anxiety. And I was like, don't do it. And then I was like, I was still really anxious and still not sleeping and I was still going a bit crazy. So I started making TikToks and I started making this series, which was hot takes on the world that were 3 minutes long. With that, I was also doing guided meditations. It was called Unwind, a guided meditation. Yeah, a guided meditation for the end of the world, where I would drink an entire bottle of wine while doing a guided meditation.
Are people tuning in and actually doing it with you?
Yeah, I couldn't get on JobSeeker. Because why? I'm an artist, and art isn't a real job. So it was all I had to earn money was doing that and give my PayPal link, and I got in audiences from Canada. I got in audiences from England. I got in audiences from Europe. I got in halfway around Australia. I got people in Asia. I got people in Dubai.
I don't want to say I was a gay child, but I face-tuned my sonogram. Well, here we are again, and sober. Fuck. I'm Reuben Kaye. I'm an actress, a model, and an unbeatable argument for retroactive birth control. I'm a queer artist, an example of non-toxic masculinity, and all of Vanessa Redgrave's forgotten dialogue in The Inheritance. A singer, a communicator, and the original voice of Die With Dignity Elmo. I can't believe they recast me in that. They said they were going in a new direction. I'm Monks the Scream if it went home first on Drag Race. I'm a mover, a shaker, and a load-bearing pillar of Australian culture. Load-bearing means exactly what you think it does. My therapist and I are in the world's longest game of Pass the Parcel, but it's my trauma we're unwrapping. Well, 2020 is moving on with all the assuredness of a white male comic who needs to get something off his chest. 2020 is wanting sliding doors Gwyneth Paltrow, but getting goop Gwyneth Paltrow. 2020 is like being fucked by Ben Shapiro. There's a lot of crying. It's uncomfortable. And someone keeps yelling Ben Shapiro in my ear. Ben Shapiro! Look at that nice curl.
Like it was that. Wow. That's what I did.
Wow.
So I did, it was just me.
Meditation? Is that meditation?
Yeah, it's my kind of meditation. It's a kind of like speaking really fast and screaming about the state of the world.
So that formed a lot of the show, really.
And that aesthetic helped me form the aesthetic of the solo. The speed of the solo show. I always want to have my shows be quick, and I've always been a very quick person. But this helped me ramp it up because essentially 2020 for me was like joke writing boot camp.
Yeah,
I just sat and scribbled and scribbled and scribbled. Which is normally a sign of insanity, but I've managed to monetize that and take it on the road.
Aaron says, I love Reuben. Never knew he existed before TikTok. Now I'm obsessed. I need more, all of more, and wine. Yeah. Naomi said, been watching these all, and they get better every time. Also, nice hair curl. Thorin says, I live for these. So you've definitely...
Well, we better start wrapping up. But
yeah, we do need to wrap
if the show...
Oh, why? I'm having so much fun.
I know, we could do a real show.
A real radio show.
Live.
No, I've just busted out the Vaseline.
No, that's hand sanitizer.
That will create more friction.
Still works, though.
He likes the sting, ladies and gentlemen.
So if this show is done, which I'm sad to hear because I want to take my friends to it, but,
Yeah.
but you're saying you might find some new venues. So people can
I'm actually going out on the road. I'm going out on the road with a new show called Popcorn Underground that's going to Townsville, Mackay, Brisbane. We're doing the Brisbane Powerhouse with the solo show as well. We're going to...
the solo show being the show you just did.
Yeah, Butch is back.
Yeah, Butch is back.
Butch is back. We're going
but
to
the
Darwin
new show
Festival.
is whole new content, similar
Whole new content. Me and a whole bunch of the hottest circus artists I know are making a show over the next 3 weeks, and we're taking it out on the road.
Wow.
And we're booked up now until almost October, which is great for artists, considering I am... sorry. Ooh, didn't know that reflex still worked. Yeah, great to think that can happen after the last year.
Amazing.
So all the dates are on all of my contacts, all of my contacts. My number, 0451. No, not falling for that again.
At the original Reuben Kaye. At the
Yeah.
original Ruby Kaye.
At the original Ruby Kaye. Do you know why? Because there's another Ruby Kaye on Instagram, and they posted twice. And I think they're a 14-year-old Filipino girl, and it's left me like the John Proctor of Instagram going, give me my name.
Have you messaged them?
No, I'm not going to.
Do it, mate. Offer $100.
I'm not going to like
You could.
You definitely
undersell. I'm going to buy this girl's
Wait,
name.
Oh, you'll
We
have
had-
that, are you?
I have not been seen by a Secret Life of Us bit part.
Reuben Kaye, mate. What a pleasure hanging out with you, and thank
I
you
just
so
didn't
much
know
for taking the
being
time
owned
out.
by Ollie would be this.
What a way to end it. It's not over. It's never over.
Get what you asked for, huh?
Thank you so much, Reuben. It's been a real pleasure.
It's been an obligation.